Okay, I'm back. I'm going to go over some of the info and the schedule for Season 1 of the Diet Dr. Pepper series, my Gen 4 league that I have just started. First of all, I'd like to give a big thank you to everybody on the response from the first video announcing the idea. Everybody seems to be really on board with it, and I'm super happy about that. Everyone giving lots and lots of good suggestions and feedback, and I really appreciate it. So, all those ideas in mind, and to hopefully maximize the fun for everyone, including myself, here is the schedule that I have come up with. So, you'll notice it's 23 races. People pointed out that 36 for a full season, a full cup season, is pretty ambitious for a league of any kind, and I agree with that, and I think that would be pretty tough for me to do every single week for 36 weeks anyway, and I'm super excited about the idea, and I'm running it. So I think 23 is good, and that number comes from the regular cup schedule from like the mid-2000s era, except we're not doing repeat races at the same track. So like normally there would be Daytona, the first race, and then the July 4th Daytona, and then there's 2 Talladega races, 2 Kansas races, 2 Michigan races, 2 Pocono races. Just doing one race at each track to give that kind of the same sort of feel as the cup schedule, just no duplicates. We don't need the season to be that long, and I think this will be completely fun. Anyway, so first race will be June 8th. It'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I think that's what we decided on Thursdays. June 8th is week 13, I believe. That's in a couple weeks from now. So that'll be Daytona, Legacy Daytona. Every track we're going to do, if it has the option, will be the Legacy track. So that's Legacy Daytona, very bumpy, very tricky, so be careful there. You'll probably want to do some practice if you're not familiar with that track. And then second race of the season will be Rockingham. That'll be a tough one. We're going to have to be careful with that as well. Then there's Las Vegas, Legacy Atlanta, Darlington, Bristol. I think I'll do Bristol night there. That's our one Bristol race. Legacy Texas, and then Talladega for the 8th race, and then I'll have an off week right after Talladega. And then next, the 9th race will be the Martinsville date. However, you'll notice I have Nashville Superspeedway there. I think I'm going to replace Martinsville with Nashville Superspeedway. I don't think there's any possible way we could get a very good race with how long of a race that would be at Martinsville. It's just really tough to ever get a good race there in anything with anybody. And I think we should replace that probably just to have fun. I don't want to sit there and pace around for 250 laps like we would most likely get. And these are tough cars, and you can't make contact. Like, you can't bump people with these cars. They'll just spin out, and then you just get cautions after cautions. So I don't think anyone's going to be upset with me with that. I think I'm going to replace Martinsville with Nashville Superspeedway. If you do have a problem with that, let me know. I think most people are going to be fine with that, though. Nashville Superspeedway, always fun, always good, clean racing, usually in green flag runs, so I think that'll be fine. And then we'll have Auto Club California, Richmond, and then Legacy Charlotte, and then Dover, Legacy Pocono, Legacy Michigan, and then the Sonoma date. I have replaced Sonoma as well with Gateway for now. I might switch Gateway for something else, but I think Gateway for now. I think that would be more fun than Sonoma. I don't think a 23 race schedule necessarily needs 2 road courses. 36 races, you have 2. I think that's fine, but I think we can swap one out just since we're doing an abbreviated schedule. And I mean, it's stock cars on road courses. That's not everyone's favorite. So I think we'll just take Sonoma out, replace it with Gateway. For now, I think that's the idea. And then we'll do Chicagoland, New Hampshire, Indy, and then Watkins Glen. I think we'll leave Watkins Glen in there for our one road course race. I think that's okay. That'll be way late in the season, though, race 20. And then Kansas, Legacy Phoenix, and then Homestead to round out the season. Also, you'll notice I have a space after the Talladega race. That is going to be our first off week after July 27th. It'll be like August 5th. No, August 3rd, I think. Right here. So we're going to have an off week between 8 and 9, race 8 and race 9. We'll probably also have another off week down here somewhere. I haven't decided when that's going to be yet. These are the tentative dates we got so far. June and July, and then August, and then Dover on September 7th. We might have an off week just off the top of my head right before the Chicagoland race. I think that'd split up the season pretty well. So that's the idea for the schedule so far. Let me know your questions or your thoughts on that. I think that's going to be a good compromise for our first season. If we really enjoy this and we want to do another season, we might look at doing 36 races, or we might like this format and just keep running a 23 race season. Or we might not want to do another season. Maybe we just do one season of this and call it good. But I think if we want to change the schedule in the future, we are definitely open for that and are open to make those changes depending. But for now, I think just to try it out, try out the league, I think one season of 23 races is acceptable. It's still going to be a lot of races, and we'll see how it works out. Hopefully it's going to be fun. So the details for the format of the series, every race is going to be fixed setup. I think we're all in agreement that fixed setup is going to be the best. This car does not have an open setup series in official, so there's really nowhere to get setups for it, free ones or anything. So I think that's fine. The cars also they're really high powered. You're going to get spread out anyway. It's not going to be like the trucks where you're on top of each other the whole time on a fixed setup. Fixed setups, I think, are going to be perfectly fine for this. So that's good. I think we're all good with that. The races are going to be half distance of the real life race. So Daytona 500 will be 100 laps instead of 200. Rockingham, I think, is going to be a pretty grueling one. It's going to be like 196. That's a lot. That's the half distance of what they ran in real life. Some of these races are going to get pretty long, but hopefully you'll bear with me with that. And cautions, obviously, with that are going to be on. We're going to do single file restarts, just like in the old days, but I am going to have wave arounds and lucky dogs enabled. I think those are perfectly good rules to use. I really enjoy having those, and I want to be able to use that, and that way I can send the lap cars to the rear, so we don't have damaged, potentially damaged lap cars starting right up next to the leaders. I think sending them to the back and just having wave arounds and lucky dogs as a possibility to get your lap back, I think that's a good way to do it. And that way we don't cause too many issues up front, if there are. So that's that. Also, I'm going to be running this as an official. Every race is going to be run as an official iRacing race. So do not expect me to do too much adminning while in the car. I'm going to have a hard time doing that. So don't be asking for clearing of black flags or free wave rounds or anything like that. You should know how I run my hosted races and everything like that. I will, if I see something that maybe screwed somebody scoring up or something like that, I might clear black flags for everyone. But do not count on that. I do not want anyone to be able to take advantage of cutting track limits or anything like that. Not that I think anyone would do that, but I don't want anyone to expect me to clear black flags in case I miss something or anything like that. Just do what the scoring tells you to do. Think of it as an official race and everything like that, and I think we should be fine. Also, every race, this is what we're going with to start with. I don't know if I'll change this, but it's going to be open to 60, obviously. So 60 people can get in the session, and then the top 43 from qualifying will make it into the race. So once you get in, we'll have 15-20 minutes of practice. So if you're not comfortable with the car or the track, you'll want to do some practice before the race, and then we'll have 5 minutes of qualifying, and top 43 from qualifying make it. So you won't be able to hit the wall or spin out or anything like that. That'll negate your qualifying laps. So you'll need to set a time, unless we don't get 43 people in the server, and then everyone will make it. So that's how that will go. And on super speedways, since they're so random and you're just flat out the whole time, I'm going to do qualifying races. That's what Nick did in the trucks, and I think it works fine. Originally, I was going to do the top 2 from Daytona make it into the race, like the actual Daytona, and then the Gatorade duels that'll set like the next 20 cars in each race. But I think, I'm not sure how I want to do the qualifying races yet. I don't know if I want them to have cautions or not. So I think I'm just going to do like the top 30. We'll automatically transfer, and then we'll have qualifying races for the last 12 spots. Know what I mean? So it's not, you're not going to get screwed over by a wreck in the qualifying race where you have to check up or something and you can never get spots back. Even though I would set it so it's like top 20 for each race, make it, and that's a lot, but I think I don't want to, I want to try and eliminate the bad luck as much as I can, even though it's going to have an element to that because of the nature of the super speedway racing. But I'll try and alleviate it as best I can. So that's that. I think that's all we want to do. Also, you should know how we want you to race and act and be towards other drivers in the sessions. If you've watched any of my races, any of Nick's races, you've been to my hosted races, you should know what we expect from you. Don't do anything crazy or start bad-mouthing people on the radio or anything like that. Intentionally wrecking people, obviously, will not be allowed. Just be respectful, race each other hard, race each other clean. We're not telling you don't have to race hard, but we want it to be clean. We don't want to do any, don't want to see anything dirty or disrespectful like that. You should know what we expect. I'm not going to be very tolerant of anything we see. I hope not to ever have to come to that where I have to talk with anybody, but I don't expect to. With the way all my hosted races have gone, they've all been excellent for the most part. So I'm not too worried about that, but just a reminder, everyone should know how you're supposed to act and race, and we should have a nice, really fun season, and I think it will be fun. And I hope you have fun. So this is all going to be for fun. Let's go and enjoy these cars, enjoy some fun races. I think the schedule will be good how it is with those, the abbreviated schedule, the skipping of the duplicate races, and also Martinsville and Sonoma, and that off week right after Talladega. And I think that's all I need to say. I think that's all we're going to need to talk about here before we start the season. So get ready, July 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to run Daytona for 100 laps. And hopefully that's a good one. And then there's Rockingham right after that next week. It's going to be a tough one. Always a grueling race. But I think that's it. Again, if you got any questions or concerns or anything like that, let me know in the comments. There's a lot of good suggestions about how I should do the schedule. I think this is the best compromise for now, but we might try something different next season if we have a next season. So I think that's it. Thank you for all your support and all the excitement for the series. I'm really excited to start this out, and I hope that it'll be good and fun, and I won't have to do too much in the way of adminning or anything like that. I think it'll be great. So big thank you.